It's Jen. In this section of AI Amazing Teaching Tools, we're going to talk about MagicSchool. So if you have already watched any of the other modules, you'll know that the plan is for me to demo for about 10 minutes or less. And then I'm going to ask you to spend 2 minutes to think about how you might use this tool in your teaching, in your planning, and then fill out this Google form. Then log into the tool and spend 15 minutes or so playing with it. Use it. Create the idea that the first idea that popped into your head, actually create it. And then if you are able to create anything that you think is going to be useful, especially if you plan on using it sometime in the next days, weeks in your own teaching, I'd love for you to make a copy of it and share it in this Google folder right here. You'll have access to this folder too, where others will hopefully drop in the things that they've created, and we've got a little repository of cool tools created using AI for teaching and learning. The rules are the same as in every other module. Please make sure you don't ever enter any student identifiable information into any of the prompts. Be sure that you check the output from the AI. It will do 80% of the work for you, but we still got to spend 20% of the time making sure that what it created is actually what we want. And we also need to be aware of bias, and that's sort of our 20% as well, making sure that the output has nothing in it, to our knowledge, that will further the bias that exists out there on the internet. So human brains get the last say. So without any further ado, here is a little brief overview of MagicSchool. There are 81 tools in MagicSchool, which is good news, but also not great news, because how the heck do you choose which tool you want to use out of the 81 without spending an enormous amount of time going through each and every single one? So the good news is that MagicSchool created this tool recommendation feature. So you can type in what it is that you want to do, and MagicSchool will tell you what it thinks is the best tool to accomplish that task. There's also a list here, I won't read it to you, of a few other things that I'm going to go through quickly today. We only have less than 10 minutes now, so I just want to give you a quick overview and then give you some time to play with it. So we're going to get into MagicSchool here. In MagicSchool, when I log in, you will see a list of the tools on your screen. It will, at the very top, have the tools that I have favorited. They're starred. So if you find something that you like, you can favorite it, and at the top of your screen, you will also have a list of favorites. So here are my favorites, and right here in the favorites is that tool recommendation item that MagicSchool has added into its list. So tool recommendations. Here's where you fill in what it is that you want to accomplish. So if I teach 7th grade and I'm a computer science teacher, and I'd like a 30-minute lesson on Python loops. And I'm going to click generate, and it's going to say, okay, here's what I think you should use, Jen. So it's got a couple different options for you. Whoops, there that is. And so once it tells you which one it thinks might be best for whatever it is you're trying to create, you click that link, it'll bring you to that tool. So the tool recommendation feature is very helpful. I'm going to go back to my home page and show you the next one that I think is also really awesome. Many of the AI tools that I've showed you thus far have the ability to create an outline for a slide deck, but they don't actually create the slide deck. MagicSchool wins for this one. So if you click Presentation Generator here, it will create a slide deck for you, and you can export it into Google Slides. It's very vanilla. It's basically just a very generic font, no pictures, no colors, no nothing, but it'll give you that skeleton, and then you can build in your images and do whatever it is that you want to do. So if I am an 8th grade teacher and I want there to be 10-15 slides about Introduction to Genetics, I'm going to leave it at that and hit generate, and let's see what happens. Here are the slides that will introduce genetics to 8th grade students. And then if I wait for it to finish, because I think I put in 15 slides, so it's going to take a second here, at the very bottom there'll be an option for me to export this into Google Slides. And so MagicSchool for the win. So far, this is the only tool that we can actually export it directly into Slides. So I'm going to scroll back all the way to the bottom, click Export Slides, Export to Google Slides. This is what it looks like. You can edit it if you don't like what you see here. Again, this is that 20% that I was talking about in the intro. Edit it and then click export, and it will create a slide deck for you in your Google Slides. Again, very vanilla, generic, that you can mess with and customize, but the deep dive into the content is done for you. It's just you making it prettier and more student friendly. So while it's spinning, I'm going to talk a little bit more about a couple of the other tools that we will take a look at in just a second. One tool that I think is really helpful is the text leveler tool. So there is an opportunity for you to cut and paste text into MagicSchool. And while I pause there to talk more about text leveler in a second, here is my slide deck. It's in your Google Drive. You can organize it in your Google Drive. To put it into, for example, if you had a genetics folder, you can click this little button up here and you can create a genetics folder and add it to the genetics folder, and you're good to go. I'm moving real fast here because I want to do this in 10 minutes or less, but if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me and I'll help you out. So I'm going to go back to that text leveler I was talking about while it was spinning and creating our slide deck. Text leveler is right here, and if you cut and paste any text into this space, you can change the grade level that you want the text to be catered toward. So you can take a very complex text and you can change it so that a student who reads at grade level 4, if you happen to have a 4th grade reading level student in your class, that student will be able to access the content of that text. Then once it's adjusted the text for that particular grade level, you can copy and paste it into a Google Doc. You can save that as a PDF and hand it to the student. You can post it in Canvas, whatever you want to do in order to get that content out to your student. The one last thing that I want to show you in here is the text translator. So if you have students in your class for whom English is not a first language, you can click text translator and you can copy and paste. You can add a PDF. You can upload a file, a Google Docs file or a PowerPoint slide deck. You can put in a YouTube video. It'll translate the transcript of the YouTube video. You can add a document from your Google Drive. You can even add a website and ask it to translate. I want to say there's 60-something languages, or at least there were. That may have changed since the last time I looked, but there are quite a few languages that MagicSchool is able to use for translation. So you cut and paste your text, or you put in your link, and you say which language you want it translated into, and then click Generate, and you'll have that document for the student who needs translation services. The MagicSchool recently added a Launch to Students option as well, and even though this is a little bit outside the scope of what I want to show you right now, it's a possibility for you to explore as we start to add a little bit more AI into our teaching and learning. So give MagicSchool a try. Check out the tools, think about what you might want to accomplish using MagicSchool, and for the next 15 minutes or so, give it a try and see what you think. Thanks.